Hello and welcome YouTube. Can't wait to take out for a ride.
One. Oh no. I need to focus more.
Loud pipes save lives and all that. This is dumb. I hate this intro. Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of my Peak District ride. As always, if you'd like to comment, share and subscribe to this channel, you are helping this channel grow, and I really love and appreciate all your support and all the comments that you guys have been leaving. I've been reading them, I've been responding the best I can, and I hope this continues. We start off with today's episode pretty much where we left off in the last episode at the old Smithy Cafe. As you can see, it started to get a bit busier as I left, and wow, what a wonderful breakfast and a fantastic atmosphere in this cafe. Really loved it, and I was there for probably a bit longer than I should have been. I was just chilling outside and having a good old natter with some of the locals, and yeah, lovely place, and what a really wonderful little town this is. I really can't wait to go back there. I think I'll definitely go back there one day. And so as I continue my journey, you can see it's looking quite nice actually, and I was full of optimism and really looking forward to taking on the next part of my journey. I had, like I say, I probably lingered maybe a bit too long there. It should have been just a quick stop, but I'd been riding at this point a good few hours, and I was battling against a really strong wind and was kind of on a little bit of a downer because it was taking away my enjoyment of the ride, the roads, the scenery and everything, what this is all about. And I was starting to get a little bit downhearted by the whole experience because I was finding it physically really tough to ride in these conditions, but it's now started to improve and I truck on. This took me by surprise. This absolutely wonderful little village is actually, I believe, Bakewell, home to the famous Bakewell tart actually. That comes, I do make a visit to the original bakery. I'll be coming up to it. I decided to pop back there, and I thought, you know, I've come all this way. You can't go all this way and not taste an original Bakewell tart. And yeah, I wasn't disappointed at all when I got to that. But this kind of, I got a bit confused around here. I was meant to, I've got sat-nav talking in my ear, Calimoto app I'm using talking in my ear, and I'm supposed to make, at this point, I'm meant to leave the first exit and go up that way to my left. And for some reason, I completely ignored it and carried on, and this just kind of really confused, and then suddenly the Calimoto app kind of went a little bit quiet. There's the bakery that I was talking about, the original one on the right. The app went a little bit quiet. I wasn't quite sure where to go, and it's telling me to turn left, and yeah, I kind of get myself in a bit of a pickle and kind of found myself, I've cut it here, but I actually ended up doing a loop around the centre like a couple of times, and then it went quiet again because I think it was trying to work out where am I going. I found myself on this random country single lane, and I'm actually kind of going up and up further away from the town, and again the app has gone quiet, and I think it may have lost signal, I'm not sure. But I got a bit confused, and while I was enjoying this, going, wow, this is lovely, really enjoying this road, but it couldn't help but feel this surely isn't the main road. I can't imagine my buddy Jim taking us all up this road. It doesn't feel right. I got a little sense that I cannot be going the right way. So I decided to eventually pull over and kind of reassess where I am. It is really, but like I say, it's absolutely lovely around here. I do enjoy exploring, going off the grids per se, and just kind of take a random route, and you find these little roads which you're not sure where they lead to, but you just take them on anyway as part of the journey. But I am supposed to be following a route, and I'm under a tight time scale, so I decided to, at this point, maybe I should just stop and get out my phone, check out the app and see where exactly I am. And as I'm not surprised, as I check where I'm supposed to be and where I actually am, it's way off course. And I don't know what happened there. I've gone completely off course, and I know I need to come back on myself, disconnect my data bank charger to keep the phone going, and I'm now going to put up on the screen a QR code which you can use. I would suggest pause the video now, and then if you use your phone to scan the QR code, that will take you to the Calimoto app, and you will be able to download the actual route that I'm following. Because I had a few people in the comments ask me, oh, I'm getting annoyed, you should really be listing where you're going, where the locations you are. It's quite frustrating that we're trying to follow where you're going and we don't know because you don't make reference to where you're going. Well, I continue to not make reference to where I'm going, but what I can do is I can put here QR code on the screen. If you scan that, it will give you the routes that I've taken. It does start off from my hotel, so obviously ignore that bit. The hotel's from the centre of Derby, so you don't need to, but if you ignore that bit and you can just look at the route which goes around like a figure of 8 around the Peak District, and yeah, you'll be able to probably complete it. It's a absolutely fantastic route, and big shout out to my friend Jim Bradley. You can follow, I'll put a link to his social media account in the description on the video. Be sure to give him a follow and message him to say thank you for sharing your route with us, because yeah, he's been great in helping with all this, and it wouldn't have been possible without him suggesting this and putting it together. Even though he's not currently on the route with me, it was still a massive help. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have that route set up that he's created. So yes, once again, thank you Jim, you absolute legend. Everyone be sure to thank Jim for this. He's my unofficial tour guide for pretty much all the group rides that I do with a bunch of my mates. It's usually always organised by Jim. So he's an absolute legend in the biker community. And yeah, here we are back in Bakewell. Another little sneaky peek at the bakery that I go back to at some point. And I now have a rough idea where I'm supposed to be going. I look up and go, okay, that's the road I was supposed to go down. Why on earth did I just not do this? So frustrating. I've cut the video, but I have actually, at this point, I think I've wasted about another 15-20 minutes added to my journey from me just riding around this little town. And yeah, we end up, as I've now exited Bakewell, and I'm heading north of Bakewell. And again, wow, like incredible views. And frustratingly, because I've been going a bit slower than I should have been, I'm trying to make up a bit of time here. I'm kind of trying to pick up the pace, and as I do, you notice the background, the clouds are suddenly appearing, and it starts to rain, and the wind starts picking up again, and I'm like, oh god, not this again. You know, I said, what's worse, wind or rain? And honestly, I can deal with rain. I don't mind a bit of rain riding. You know, if you have the right gear, rain doesn't bother me at all if you've got the right gear. Wind is a problem because it's unpredictable and it gets a bit more sketchy. I find wind a bit more sketchy than rain. But when you have a combination of the two, then that is a bit of a disaster actually. you don't want wind and rain. That's no fun. It definitely keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing because I'm probably at this point nearly halfway, probably around about halfway around my route, and the clock is ticking. I think at this point it's probably around, I think it's around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have to make a sort of decision and think, well, what am I doing here now? It's starting to get a bit windy again. I'm finding it quite difficult to keep the bike in the center of my lane, and I'm trying to take it all in. I want to enjoy this ride. I want to look at this incredible scenery and these incredible routes. And again, like, look, hardly any, you can barely see a car around here, and you've got these incredible like roads that take you around all this farmland, and it's so epic, and it's everything that you want in a motorcycle journey. But God, that's when it's just, the rain's starting to get a bit heavier now, and it's kind of dampening my spirits. I'm trying to continue the best I can and still not let it get me down, and I just want to just try and still remember how far I've come, what I want to do. I want to do this journey, I want to complete it. And the wind started blowing my camera around, it started changing the angle a bit, and as just now I go to try and adjust it to what I thought was correct, and what I've ended up doing is pointing the screen, it's now facing down. I didn't know it was pointing more down, so now you can't, I've got all this footage of mainly the road, and it's really gutting, so like seeing this happen. And I think I've got my indicator still flashing at this point as well, which is really classic me. At this point, as I'm going uphill, you get to see a bit more of the surroundings, and I have to make a really horrible decision. I kind of realise I've now been riding for a good, probably about 6 hours. I'm only halfway round, and I've still got to get home. And it just dawns on me, I think, I don't think I'm going to make it. I've come all this far. I'm taking in, I'm sort of looking around going, I've got so much more to see, that I made the decision to abandon the ride. It's a horrible one, a really horrible one for me, but it felt like the right thing to do, because if I was staying another night in the hotel, which I was originally, if you remember, I had booked 2 nights. I was going to stay the ride up Friday night, stay over Friday, and then Saturday I was meant to do the ride all day Saturday, and then I was going to go back to the hotel Saturday night, chill, and then ride home the Sunday. But as I'm not doing that and I'm going back, I realised that I need to I need to get home, and I'm going to be shattered. So I've decided, while I'm here, I'll stop off and pop in, get myself a Bakewell tart while I'm here and bring it home. And I decided not to record. I kind of turn off my recording as I think to myself I'll record as I go in and show everyone the shop, but it was rammed, absolutely rammed in there, and there was loads of kids, and I think, you don't want to be filming when there's people, kids and stuff around. You don't want to make them feel weird, and people will be like, why are you filming us? So I don't record the shop, which is a shame, because it is that the bakery is absolutely amazing inside, and they're really talented bakers, and I would have loved to have shown people some of these incredible freshly made Bakewell tarts. And I do get myself one enormous iced Bakewell tart, classic, and then I bought a traditional Bakewell pudding, which I never knew existed, and it was it tasted great. I still think about the Bakewell tarts I got from here. So I might even do the journey back just to get a Bakewell tart again, because it was that good. So I make the sad decision. I've abandoned and I've decided I need to get back, because it took me 5 hours to get to the hotel, and I realised, well, I'm a solid hour and a half to 2 hours away from the hotel right now, and I still need to get home. And it was probably about, at this point, about 1:30, 2 o'clock ish, and I thought, oh my god, it's going to take me forever. It's going to be a real late one, and I don't think I could. I was just in my head going, oh, it's going to be a tough ride, it's going to be pretty tough, and I was a bit demoralised. Now, I don't know the name of this village, and everyone's going to complain that I don't know the name of this village, but I was coming back from Bakewell heading south, and they had some kind of, I don't know, a special event, like a fundraiser maybe for the fire department. It was quite amazing. The whole village seemed to be absolutely rammed around this fire station, and all these families were all gathering. They had all these kind of like fun little fete stuff there. And then there was loads of people dressed up in sort of Halloween attire. I saw people dressed up as witches and things like that. And as I went further into town, I think I saw like pumpkins and stuff set up. So I don't know the name of the town, but it had a really good atmosphere, and it seemed to be very family friendly, and everyone seemed to be out and enjoying themselves. And I feel gutted that I don't know the name of it, but yeah, I was really surprised. Well, this seems really cool. Yeah, look, right in front of me, I've just parked up because I needed fuel. This is the other thing, I would have probably done about 6-7 fuel stops if I still had my bobber. This is only my second fuel stop, which is quite incredible. I'm really appreciate the bigger tank on the T120 from the bobber, because yeah, there wasn't that many petrol stations on my route around, so when it got to it and I found one and then just parked up here, and I kind of looking around going, what is going on? Fire engines, all these people out and about, dressed up in fancy dress. Yeah, it was all very nice, very wholesome, I think you'd say. Very wholesome and lovely. It's nice to see families out and people enjoying themselves and being sociable. So I'm still feeling pretty tired at this point. Happy to have a little break. I mean, when I have been stopping, it's only been like this. It's only been for small moments, just to get fuel, just have a quick drink somewhere like a garage or something. I haven't been stopping much, and I'm pretty surprised actually just how much, how long this whole journey has taken me. And I kind of, in my head, I thought it was only going to take about 4 or 5 hours to do the entire route around, but maybe it was just purely the weather. I was just really struggling, and I wasn't able. You look at some of those roads and you think you could, you know, if you were pushing it, you could go much quicker than I was around there and enjoy it. But I don't know, I'm not a big fan of going super fast anyway, regardless. Even if it was nice weather, I probably wouldn't have been going quickly around there, because I quite like to, it's not, you know, you're in a new place, you want to take it all in, you want to enjoy the moment, and I personally don't think you get the same level of enjoyments if you're going flat out around. It's a different kind of enjoyment, but maybe it's just the parents in me and just feeling like, well, I don't like to risk going too quickly when I know I've got kids relying on me. So I've got to be the responsible one and just ride sensibly and enjoy it. But that does mean I'm going to be out on the bike longer. So this is the town I was mentioning before. It's absolutely buzzing with activity and some kind. I think it might be some kind of annual event, maybe. Lots of families around, and there's like a nice market up ahead and that. So I reckon any other normal circumstance they would definitely stopped and have a little snoop around. But I'm on a mission to get home now, and I've got a long way to go. So I'm going to end the episode around here. I decided to split this next bit into 2. I think it'll be a bit easier for you guys to digest, and the next episode will be more of a debrief of my journey and what I've learned and everything. So thank you and goodbye.